Clean out your desk by noon. Dad's words echoed through the executive floor of Richardson Global. The board agrees you're not cut out for this. I stood there in my office, soon to be my former office, surrounded by the evidence of 5 years of dedication. Market expansion plans, innovation proposals, sustainability initiatives. All rejected because they weren't how we've always done things. The family legacy needs stronger hands, he continued, straightening his Hermès tie, a Christmas gift I'd given him. Your brother Michael will take over as VP of Operations. Michael, whose main qualification was being born first. Michael, who'd failed upward through every position he'd held. Michael, who'd nearly bankrupted our Tokyo division but somehow emerged with a promotion. My phone buzzed. Elena from legal. Documents ready. Operation Phoenix greenlit when you are. I understand, I replied calmly, watching Dad's surprise at my lack of protest. He'd expected tears, pleading, the emotional display he'd always labeled as weakness. Instead, I began packing my papers into a banker's box. Not the market reports or project files. Those were already secured in my private server. Just the personal items, the facade of a dutiful daughter playing corporate dress-up. You're taking this, well, Dad frowned, thrown off by my composure. 5 years here taught me a lot. I smiled, thinking of the shell companies I'd quietly established, the investors I'd cultivated, the pieces I'd positioned like chess pieces across the board. My phone lit up again. Asian markets closing, shares secured. European trading begins in 3 hours. Proxy votes confirmed. Mom, dinner tonight to discuss your future? I declined Mom's invitation. By dinner, their understanding of my future would be radically different. The severance package is generous, Dad added, almost gentle now that he thought I was accepting defeat. Enough to start something small, perhaps. A boutique consultancy. If he only knew about Phoenix Capital, the small consultancy that had been systematically acquiring Richardson Global shares through a web of international holdings. That's thoughtful, I replied, picking up my box. Good luck with the Anderson merger. His head snapped up. How did you know about Anderson? Just a guess. I lied smoothly, not mentioning the late nights documenting their illegal pricing strategies, the offshore accounts, the creative accounting that would give the SEC nightmares. Another message flashed. Anderson CO confirmed for tomorrow's meeting. They're ready to jump ship. Jennifer, Dad called to his secretary, please escort Victoria out. And disable her building access. Of course, Mr. Richardson, Jennifer replied, loyal Jennifer, who'd been feeding me board meeting details for months, disgusted by the old boys club that passed for corporate governance. I took one last look at the office I'd earned through merit rather than birth. By the end of the week I'd have a better one. Right after I took everything they thought I was too weak to handle. Oh, Dad. I paused at the door. You might want to check the shareholder registry. Things change so quickly in today's market. He waved me off, already focused on his golf schedule, assuming I was making empty threats. My phone buzzed one final time. The message I'd been waiting for. 48% secured. Remaining shares locked for purchase at market open. Operation Phoenix enters final phase. I stepped into the elevator, watching the doors close on my old life. They thought they were ending my career. Instead, they just handed me the match to light their whole empire on fire. The next 48 hours unfolded like a masterclass in corporate warfare. I operated from my real headquarters, a penthouse office suite downtown that Dad had dismissed as playing entrepreneur when I'd bought it 2 years ago. European markets are closing, Elena reported, her tablet displaying a cascade of green numbers. We've secured another 2% through the Frankfurt Exchange. I stood at the window, watching the sun rise over the city. Below, Richardson Global's tower cast its shadow, a shadow that would soon belong to me. Update from Tokyo. My phone buzzed. Final share block locked. Anderson Corp wants to meet earlier. They're spooked by Michael's latest numbers. Michael. My dear brother who'd spent the last quarter cooking books so creative they belonged in a fiction bestseller list. Ms. Richardson, my assistant called, your mother's on line 3. Again. Still declining all family calls? Elena asked, knowing the answer. Until the papers are signed, I confirmed. How's Dad's morning going? Elena smirked, pulling up a security feed. He's on his 4th attempt to access the sealed board documents. Should we let him see them yet? Not until the shareholders' meeting. I want him to feel the full impact of what's coming. My phone lit up with a series of updates. 50.5% shares secured. Board members being notified. Emergency meeting called for 2 p.m. Mom, Victoria, please call. Your father's very upset about some trading alerts. I bet he was. The alerts would show massive share movements but not the buyer. A little corporate veil I'd learned to deploy while watching him hide his own transactions. Anderson's CEO is here, my assistant announced. James Anderson walked in looking exactly like what he was, a CEO watching his legacy deal crumble. Victoria, he nodded. Your brother's numbers are fantasy, I finished sliding across a folder. Here's the real data. And here's my offer. He studied the documents, his face darkening. These discrepancies would interest the SE greatly, I agreed. Unless the merger happens under new management, he concluded, looking up sharply. Your management. I smiled, pouring 2 glasses of whiskey, Dad's favorite brand, though mine was better. Welcome to Phoenix Rising, James. Let's discuss terms. My phone buzzed again. Michael attempting to access sealed files. Legal team standing by. Mom, called 3 times. Dad, trading floor reports major share movements. Your father won't take this lying down, James warned, signing the revised merger agreement. My father doesn't have a choice, I replied, pulling up the latest numbers. As of 9 minutes ago, Phoenix Rising owns 51% of Richardson Global. His reign ended while he was choosing his golf clubs this morning. The intercom crackled. Ms. Richardson? Your father's in the lobby. He's quite insistent about coming up. I checked my watch, ahead of schedule but workable. Send him to conference room A. And alert security to be ready for Michael. He'll try something dramatic when he finds out. Victoria. Dad's voice boomed as I entered the conference room. What the hell is going on? The trading floor's going crazy. Anderson's not answering calls. Sit down, Dad, I said quietly, taking the head of the table, his usual seat. Let's discuss the future of Richardson Global. Or should I say Phoenix Rising? His face went from red to white as Elena distributed the documents. Proof of ownership, merger terms, board resignations. This is impossible, he breathed. The shares were locked. In family trusts? I finished. Amazing how many loopholes exist when you actually read the fine print. You taught me that, remember? One of the few useful lessons between all the dismissals and degradation. You can't run this company, he tried, falling back on his favorite theme. You're too weak. I pulled up the quarterly projections. Like when I warned you about the Asian market shifts. Or when I predicted the tech sector collapse you ignored. Face it, Dad, the only weakness in Richardson Global was its leadership. The door burst open, Michael right on cue with Mom trailing behind him. The little princess staged a coup, I announced before they could speak. Would you like to see how weak I am now? Whatever she's done, Michael started, the board won't. The board already has, Elena interrupted, displaying their signatures. They've been quite cooperative since seeing the audit reports. Audit reports? Mom's voice shook. 5 years of documentation, I confirmed. Every illegal trade, every cooked book, every creative solution Michael deployed to hide his failures. The SEC would have a field day. You'd destroy your own family? Dad demanded. Family. I laughed. Was it family when you fired me in front of the entire executive floor? When you handed my projects to Michael because men handle pressure better? When you told Anderson I was too emotional to lead? My phone lit up again. Press gathering in lobby, takeover news leaked. Speaking of Anderson, I continued, they're merging with Phoenix Rising, not Richardson Global. Seems they prefer competence over connections. You planned this, Mom whispered. All those quiet years, those small ventures we mocked. I learned from you, I smiled. Always underestimate your enemies, right, Dad? Makes it so much easier to slip past their defenses. Security appeared at the door right on schedule. Your personal items have been packed, I informed them. Severance packages are generous, provided you sign the non-disclosure agreements. Otherwise, I gestured to the audit reports. You're bluffing, Michael tried one last time. I pulled up the trading screens showing Phoenix Rising's ownership in real time. Does this look like a bluff? The Richardson name, Dad began, means nothing compared to actual leadership. I cut him off. Now shall we discuss your retirement plans? I hear golf clubs are accepting new members. You'll have plenty of time to work on your swing. The sun had fully risen now, glinting off the tower's windows. By sunset, the Richardson name would be replaced by Phoenix Rising, a new empire rising from the ashes of their outdated dynasty. Oh, and Dad, I called as security led them out. Next time you call someone weak, make sure they don't have the strength to take everything you have. The following weeks unfolded like a corporate symphony, each movement carefully orchestrated to dismantle the old regime and build something stronger from its ruins. I watched from my new office, the top-floor corner suite that had been Dad's temple of power for 30 years. First quarter projections under new management, Elena announced, spreading documents across my desk. We're already up 40% since the takeover announcement. The markets had responded enthusiastically to Phoenix Rising's leadership. Our stock had soared as investors recognized what Dad never had: innovation beats tradition every time. My phone buzzed with its morning updates. Asian division restructuring complete. European merger integration ahead of schedule. Michael spotted at Sterling competitors rejected. Mom, please Victoria. Your father's pride is destroying him. Your brother tried interviewing at Sterling? Elena raised an eyebrow. Third competitor this week, I confirmed. Turns out his resume looks less impressive without Daddy's protection. How's the pension restoration coming? On track. The employees were surprised to find their benefits not only restored but enhanced. Of course they were. Dad's version of business meant cutting worker benefits to fund executive bonuses. My version recognized that loyal employees build stronger companies. Ms. Rising, my assistant called, I'd taken Phoenix's name as my own, a final break from the Richardson legacy. The Anderson integration team is here. And, your father's been calling law firms. Let him, I smiled. Our documentation is ironclad. How's the talent recruitment going? Overwhelming response. Apparently, a female CEO who actually earned her position is attractive to other qualified women in the industry. The diversity initiatives are already showing results. Another buzz from my phone. Dad, this isn't over. Forbes requesting cover interview. Fortune 500 rankings updated. Phoenix Rising up 200 spots. Mom, at least take my calls. I studied the latest financial reports. In just 3 weeks, we'd accomplished what Dad had deemed impossible. Asterisk modernized the tech infrastructure. Asterisk streamlined operations. Asterisk launched 3 innovation initiatives. Asterisk restored employee benefits. Asterisk established actual merit-based promotion systems. The old guard is struggling, Elena noted, pulling up social media feeds. Country club membership canceled, credit lines frozen. Amazing how quickly fortunes change when they're built on connections instead of competence, I observed, watching Dad's carefully constructed social empire crumble. The intercom crackled. Ms. Rising? There's a situation in the lobby. Your brother. Security footage popped up on my screens. Michael, drunk at 10 a.m., demanding to speak to the real leadership. Have security escort him out, I instructed. And send him the video of his Tokyo division presentation. The one where he couldn't explain his own numbers. Victoria, his voice carried through the building's atrium. You can't hide up there forever. This company needs real leadership. I switched on the public address system. Like the leadership that lost us the Asian market? Or the leadership that faked quarterly reports? Security will show you out, Michael. Try not to embarrass yourself further. My phone lit up again. Anderson merger completing ahead of schedule. Wall Street Journal profile ready for approval. Harvard Business Review requesting case study. Mom, found Dad crying in his study. Please. The last message almost moved me. Almost. Then I remembered Thanksgiving dinner last year. No daughter of mine will ever run this company. Women are too emotional for real business. Well, Dad, let's talk about emotions now. The charity foundation is ready, Elena reported. First grants going to women in STEM programs. Perfect timing. Every dollar that used to fund the Richardson's country club lifestyle would now help girls pursue the dreams their fathers dismissed. Ms. Rising, my assistant again. The employee town hall is starting. They're waiting for you. I stood straightening my suit. Chanel, not that anyone would know. Unlike Mom, I didn't need labels to prove my worth. Oh, and Victoria? Elena called as I headed out. Your father's private club membership? The one he's had for 40 years. Yes. I just bought the club. New ownership might review all memberships soon. I smiled. Sometimes revenge isn't just about taking power, it's about dismantling every privilege they took for granted. The town hall was packed, every employee who'd survived under Dad's regime, plus all the new talent we'd attracted. They weren't here out of fear or obligation like in Dad's mandatory meetings. They were here because for the first time their company had real vision. Welcome to the new era, I began, taking the stage. Let's talk about where we're going, not where we've been. My phone buzzed one last time. Dad, you'll regret this. Stock up another 10%. Time magazine. 40 under 40 list confirmed. Mom, he's talking about selling the house. Poor Dad. Should I tell him I already own their mortgage through one of my shell companies? That his prestigious address was now just another asset in my portfolio? No. Let him figure it out like I had to figure everything out, the hard way. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just succeeding, it's succeeding so completely that their world becomes irrelevant. I looked out at my employees, my real family now. At Phoenix Rising we believe in merit, not inheritance. In innovation, not tradition. And most importantly, I paused, seeing Dad watching from the back, his face ashen. We believe that true strength isn't about keeping others down, it's about lifting everyone up. He turned and walked out, finally understanding what I'd known all along. The mighty don't fall because they're weak. They fall because they mistake cruelty for strength. And I had just rewritten every rule in his book.